the amazing revelation that I think I'm starting to realize, is that I want to stuff and minimize and deny. I'm starting to realize more and more that I believe we have a, what's the word, symbiotic, that it's like some kind of biological term where both of the organisms need the other one to live, and they're attached somehow. Anyway, I don't think this is a complete idea or a thought or a complete revelation, but the partial revelation is that we are connected. Maybe it's just for people that you're around, like your core sphere of people. When we are stuffing, minimizing, and denying, we're not really being our true authentic selves, and us holding back the true expression of ourselves and maintaining, I want to call it a root of bitterness for lack of a better word, but it's like we are afraid. Like Rabbi says, doing hard things brings growth. And one of the greatest or the hardest things is to express yourself when you're afraid of a negative outcome or some kind of a backlash. But we, in essence, are stifling ourselves by not expressing ourselves. And if we express ourselves and be our authentic self, well, let me say that not expressing ourselves and being our authentic self is causing a tension that can be felt. And so if we would express ourselves, then we can resolve the tension. And oftentimes we may have an idea of what we believe is going to be the most horrible negative outcome to our expressing ourselves, and it turns out to be nothing like we couldn't even have imagined what positive outcome could come from it. And I don't mean expressing ourselves like going crazy, ballistic on somebody. I mean, just saying I don't like something, or I would rather not, whatever. And this makes me feel this way. Just really, truly expressing, just being heard, and it's not that the other person is not wanting to hear you. It's that you're afraid to share, that you don't like something, or that you feel a certain way about something. And it's because of our own internal fear of whatever backlash could possibly come from us, or rejection possibly. And I'm realizing more and more as I look over my life, when I was able to, let's say there was something that I thought that I wanted, and because the other person that I wanted from another person, I think this is part of it. So I want something from this other person. I want this person to do something, and the person because of whoever they are, they're not going to do whatever this thing is that I want them to do, because they're not being true to themselves if they do what I want them to do. Like, I want them to change so I can be happy. In essence, is what I'm thinking. If they would just do whatever, then I would be fine, And so I'm thinking about a situation years and years and years ago where I wanted someone to do something, and it ended up making a tension like a tug of war. And finally I let go of the idea that it needed to be my way, and accepted the new reality. And once I accepted, so I expressed myself that, I thought it was messed up, but I am gonna accept the new reality. I'm gonna accept, because I can't change the other person. So all I could do, if this is what reality is, and I have to deal with this person, I need to accept the reality that this person is on whatever journey they're on, and this is who they are. This is who they are at the moment. Like, this is the current reality. So I find that once I accept the current reality, and if I think it's messed up or I don't like it, I can say, hey, I'm realizing that this is how it is or whatever, but I don't like it. And I find that once I express myself, once I acknowledge that I don't like it, but it's the current reality, and accept it as, it's just the way it is, it's like a veil is lifted off of me. And when I thought it was the other person that was holding me back this whole time, because they wouldn't do whatever the thing is I thought they should do, I'm realizing that it was me holding myself back. That it was actually me stifling myself, because I can express myself and express that I don't like something, and it really doesn't matter if the other person changes or not. Like, even if that person has a hostile reaction, at least I expressed myself, and I was true to myself by saying, I don't like this, and I could, look for a solution or try to negotiate something. But if I'm not able to change the reality or get out of the other person what I want, me being true to myself and expressing myself allows me to realize that if I accept the reality, then I don't have to play the tug of war. And that's if it's something that is something tolerable that I can accept. Of course, if it's something intolerable, I guess that's a different situation. But if you have to have a relationship with this person, and it's something that can be tolerated, that it's really not the end of the world, if you don't get your way, you accepting the reality, expressing yourself, accepting the reality, being at peace with the current reality. So that's the hard thing that brings growth. overcoming the fear of the backlash or whatever negative response, or, nothing changing. The fear of nothing changing. You being heard, you expressing yourself is a healing for your own self. You overcoming the fear of the whatever negative outcome that you can imagine. And I'm saying, I'm not advocating going ballistic. I'm talking about just stating, even if you can do it in a calm manner, or even if it's not so calm, just honest acknowledgement of what you perceive the reality to be, or how you feel. At least expressing how you feel in a somewhat calm, even if irritated manner. It brings a healing to the atmosphere, because the tension that you cause from your own internal struggle every time the situation came up is a block to the harmony that you can have with the other person. The tug of war is a block to the harmony that you can have. And so, and this isn't this. I feel like I'm at the tip of the revelation. But that if there is a relationship that we have to have with the other person, the tug of war is, and even if it's our own, even if it's a tug of war within ourselves, because we won't accept the reality, we won't be at peace with the reality, or seek to find peace with the current reality. That tension is a disturbance. For lack of a better word, I want to say a disturbance in the force, like from Star Wars. And so, being at peace with the reality causes a healing that is beyond what can be imagined. The healing, the healing that comes from accepting the other person and their true expression of themselves, and accepting myself and the true expression of myself, and being at peace with we are at an impasse. So what is the new reality? Like, what can you do, since you're not going to give on this side and I'm not going to give on this side? I want you to do this and you don't want to do this. So I'm struggling within myself, being upset that you won't give me what I want. Me letting go and just deciding, well, I'm not going to get what I want, but at least I said I don't like it. That causes a new relationship. That's all I can call it. I almost want to cry thinking about it. It causes a new relationship to form that was not what you had before, because it's like you were blocking what the relationship could be by holding back your authentic self. And think it's expressing yourself plus accepting the reality that you're not going to get your way in a certain matter. Yeah. So it's like, how can you have a relationship with this person and you not get your way, and maybe possibly them not get their way? Like, well, I don't know. It's not really about them getting their way. It's more about you not getting your way, because you can control you can't control them. I can control myself. I can't control the other person. So it's like me accepting the reality even causes the other person to change, because I stopped the tug of war, because I accepted that the other person wasn't going to change. Okay. Me accepting the other person wasn't going to change caused me to change. Caused me to be at peace. And when I changed and I was at peace, it caused the other person to change. And it caused our relationship to heal. And when the relationship healed, it was beyond my expectation of what I could have expected the relationship to be. Like, after I accepted the reality that the other person wasn't going to change, it actually made the other person change. I mean, I didn't get the thing that I wanted, but I'm having a hard time putting words on. I have to come up with some kind of a visual at some point about the blockage that's happening, that's stopping the next level of symbiote type growth. Like, there can be a growth in this relationship, but because you have an unmet expectation and you don't want to express that you have an unmet expectation and talk about it, it's blocking like this next level relationship, if I can say that. And us doing the hard thing of expressing ourselves even though we're afraid of whatever, and trying to negotiate. And honestly, what I find is once I express myself that I don't like whatever this thing is, I realize that my expectations were irrational. Like, I had irrational, illogical expectations. But I didn't realize that my expectations were irrational or illogical until I expressed that I didn't like whatever the thing was. And then accepted the reality of that's the way the person, that's the reality of that's how they're acting on their journey. Okay, so I wasn't even aware that I felt that I was the problem. Like, me not expressing myself had like a veil over the true problem. And once I expressed myself and accepted that it wasn't going to change, like, I could think of 3 situations where this happened. And once I expressed myself, I realized that it was an irrational, like, like illogical request, and the other person budging what I thought I wanted, the other person to give me whatever I wanted. Like, I didn't realize it was illogical or irrational until I expressed myself. And then once I tried to open up the floor for negotiations, and there was no negotiation. There was no agreement. The only agreement was, well, at least I expressed myself. Even if there's I don't get what I want. Okay? I realized that what I wanted was not completely rational. And the veil was lifted off of my blindness to my irrational thinking. And then I could accept the truth. And it caused a healing for that relationship. And it created a new relationship. I can't even say healing. It's not even healing. It created a new relationship in each case. In each case, it created a new relationship. The first relationship I can think of is with my ex-husband. When I accepted that he didn't want to be with me as a wife. We were already divorced, but I thought we should get back together. But we weren't a good fit for husband and wife. And I didn't want to acknowledge that. We were together for a season, and that was our season to be together. We were not a good fit for husband and wife. And I didn't want to acknowledge that that was the truth. But once I acknowledged that we weren't going to get back together, that he didn't, want to be my husband, and it was okay. Why would you be with somebody that you want to be with? Like, the irrational part was, I thought he should be with me even though he didn't want to be with me. That's irrational. Why? Why would I want somebody to be with me that doesn't want to be with me? That doesn't make sense. So that was the irrational part. I had to overcome that he didn't want to be with me. He didn't love me like a husband should love a wife. He didn't love me like that. He loved me as a mother of his kids, but he did not love me as a husband should love a wife. And so once I accepted that and just was at peace with it, it caused a whole new relationship that I didn't even, it wasn't something that I could even have imagined. And me and him have an amazing relationship. And I don't have any animosity, with him. We have to have a relationship, as well, when the children were younger, we had to co-parent. And so we had to have this relationship. But I got more than I expected. When I accepted the reality that he didn't love me like that. And it is what it is. Why would you want to be with somebody that doesn't love you like that? Anyway, so I'm just saying that to say is that once I accepted that he didn't want that kind of relationship with me, it made a whole new relationship that was exceeded my expectations. It probably, exceeded his expectations. Maybe I should interview him. I think I do want to interview him to find out his side, how he felt about the whole thing, about the change in our relationship. So we have an amazing relationship. He has a wonderful wife now, and he's been with her for a long time, and she is just an amazing woman, and I appreciate her being a bonus mom for my children. And I just have a very loving relationship with both my ex-husband and his wife. So anyway, that's one situation. I had a situation with my boss where I felt like I was being mistreated. I wasn't being mistreated, but because I wasn't getting what I wanted, I felt I was being mistreated. So I finally had the conversation. What I wanted was irrational. And once it came out of my mouth, when I wrote it down, it seemed fine. When I expressed it to the boss, he kind of yelled at me a little bit. He raised his voice because he said it was a rational request. Oh my gosh. And I didn't realize it was an irrational request until he was like, what in the world? Like, oh my gosh. And once I made peace with that whole situation, I expressed myself. I accepted whatever backlash came from it. And then we had another conversation that put me at peace because I didn't get what I wanted. Okay, so I didn't get what I wanted at the job. I was asking for a raise or whatever. Didn't get the raise that I thought I deserved. So it was still at edge, still with the tug of war. The boss says, hey, you don't have to keep working here. I mean, I appreciate the work you do, but you could get paid more somewhere else. So I thought, okay, well, let me check it out, So I checked it out. I found another job. I could get paid like twice the amount of money I'm getting paid at this job. So I thought, maybe I should apply for this job. And then I started thinking about all the things I like about my current job. And how fulfilled I feel, and how blessed I am on so many levels. And honestly, I didn't need the money. I thought I deserved the money, right? But I didn't need the money. I had money coming from other income sources, so I didn't need the money. I could stay at this job. I mean, I don't know for how long, but I mean, it's a dream job for me. So, I mean, the job may morph into, but it has morphed into other things. Anyway, me expressing myself, accepting that, the boss wasn't going to change. Give me what I wanted. It caused a healing, just accepting that and realizing that, I didn't even realize I was okay. So, when I realized I was okay, I changed my perspective. That I could be okay with this, then the tug of war stopped. My attitude and what I brought to the atmosphere changed. And then it caused a new level of relationship at work. And then I got a double raise, not like double my salary or anything, but I got a pay increase and a raise without asking. Not long after I asked for the other raise and got a partial raise, but not what I thought I wanted. So anyway, I'm just saying, that's another instance where I expressed myself. I accepted whatever the backlash was going to be because I had to express myself. And it caused a healing when I accepted the reality that the other person wasn't going to change or give me what I wanted. It caused a whole new relationship. It transformed into a different kind of relationship. Okay? Then with my roommate. This is the third thing. And I'm sure there's more instances in my life that this has happened. But I'm just realizing now. My roommate, I wanted her to do something. She didn't want to do it. Okay, I've been mad at her about this every time it comes up, which is like, I don't know, very often, multiple times a week. Been mad about this thing for probably 2 years. 2 years. Every time it comes up, multiple times a week, mad about it. Okay? Not expressing myself, really, truly, honestly expressing myself. Just telling her she needs to change. How come she's not doing this thing I want her to do? She needs to change. I'm telling her, doing hard things brings growth. Maybe you should do this thing that you don't want to do. Doing hard things brings growth. I wasn't doing a hard thing that brought growth by telling her that I didn't like it. thought it was really messed up. Once I finally expressed myself and said, it's really messed up that you're not doing this thing like I want you to do. She was like, well, I don't like doing it. I'm not going to do it. Once I accepted the reality, and then I thought, well, at least I expressed myself. I really don't like it that you don't want to do this thing. And accepted that new reality, I realized what I was asking her to do was actually my responsibility. I was mad at her because she wouldn't help me out more. She wouldn't help me out more. When it's my responsibility, the thing that I wanted her to do was my responsibility. All the way. It was 100% my responsibility. And she was helping me a little bit, but she wasn't helping me enough. She wasn't helping me to where I thought she should be helping me. Not her responsibility. I don't, what's the word? I'm not entitled to the help, I'm not entitled to it. That she could do it out of kindness of her heart. Hallelujah. But I'm not entitled to it. So I had an entitled attitude. Oh my gosh, did I have an entitled attitude on all three of these? I think I did. I think I had an entitled attitude. Yep. I thought my first husband, I thought he should give me the relationship I wanted. Thought my boss should give me the raise that I wanted. Thought my roommate should help me to my expectations. It was all unrealistic expectations, every one of them. I felt entitled to unrealistic expectations. Well, once I expressed myself, realized it was like the veil was lifted off my eyes. Once I expressed myself, it was like I couldn't see it was unrealistic until I expressed myself. So I confronted myself. Overcame, addressed the situation. Overcame the fear of addressing it. Addressed the situation. Realized it was not until I expressed myself that I realized it was unrealistic. And accepted that I wasn't going to get my way. It made a whole new relationship every time. So I just wanted to share this revelation. I hope that was helpful.